Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another quarterfinal, and this one has just that little bit more feeling in it. The Crusaders taking on the Fijian Drua. Now, the Fijian Drua, they have been the story of the competition, making it into that top 8 to now go head to head with the defending champs. It's going to be a tough one, but that is something that the Fijian Drua have shown throughout this season that they are capable of pretty much just running into head on. That's kind of the Fijian style play, a hard game of rugby, find those offloads. But the Crusaders, they are a different beast when they're at home at the moment. They have got title after title after title, and they're looking for another one here. It's going to be a pretty awesome game. Looking through at this Crusaders starting lineup, it is Tamaiti Williams, Cody Taylor, and Ollie Jaeger as the front row. They have had a few injury troubles throughout the season. First, it was Joe Moody. Then it was George Bauer. No Fletcher Null for this contest, but to put together this front row in this situation, you'd have to say they have done pretty well. Scott Barrett and Quinton Strange, they will be the locking duo with Sione Havili Talatui, Tom Christie, the absolute tackling machine. I believe he made over 25 tackles in last week's game up against the Hurricanes. And then Christian Leo Willie, the big man, at number 8. Mitch Drummond at 9 with Richie Moonga at 10. He's going to have to really try and control this game for the Crusaders. And their backline, Jack Kodju at 12 with Braden Enor on his outside at 13. Lester Whainanuku out on the left wing. Dallas McLeod out on the right. That is due to those injuries that they did sustain earlier on in the season, such as a Sevu Reese and a man who came back from an injury. It will be Will Jordan at number 15 for the Satyrs. We have got a few people in the chat already. We have got Nay, we have got K-Pop, we have got Mr. Billy, Brandon Crip, Aksha, and also Ralulu in the chat. And Enor first tries, the bold prediction from Jason. I mean, he got the last one right, so I feel like we should trust him at this point. But looking through at the Fijian Drua starting lineup, it will be Hiriti Hitit at number 1, Taveta Iknaveri at 2, and Masaki Donge at number 3. Nasela Sela slots in at 4 with Thorika Davita at 5. He was out of the starting lineup and reserves last week. Thorika Davita now gets himself that opportunity once more. Mira, he actually moves to number 6 because of the absence of Joe Tamani, which does mean that there is a debut, and it is Motikai Murray. Now, some of you guys may not have heard of this man. He is a part of the under-20 Fijian side that will be taking on that World Cup just a little bit around the corner, but he is a fantastic player. And what a time to make your debut in a game for a quarterfinal up against one of the top sides. It's going to be a big one, make or break for the youngster, but I'm sure he will be looking forward to the challenge. And then Meri Delialangi, the skipper of the Fijian Drua, he is there at number 8. Frank Lamani at 9, Michaela Muntz at 10. Tite Teller remains at number 12 after last week's success up against the Reds. Osefo Masi, well, he is the success story of the Fijian Drua, the most tries scored for a Fijian Drua player throughout the regular season. He is at 13. Kalaveti Ravovo out on the left. Celestino Oravatamunda out on the right. And Zoa Druasisi returns to the starting lineup after his absence in last week's game against his former side, the Reds. And the Fijian Drua, what a way to get into the quarterfinals, pulling off a massive victory over the Red side, 41 points to 47. Before that, they had an absolute thriller the week before, 47 points to 46. They were victorious over Moana Pacifica. And then that game up against the Tars and the game up against the Force didn't quite go the way that they would have liked, but that big one there up against the Canes, when they were able to win that game, you'll notice a trend here. The Fijian Drua, 3 home games, 3 wins, 2 away games, 2 losses. This is an away game, so it will be more of a challenge for the Fijian Drua than if this game was being played in Fiji. The reason I say that is because these two sides played earlier on in the season in Fiji, and it was the Fijian Drua who were victorious. The Crusaders, though, they were on a 4-match winning streak up until that game last week up against the Hurricanes, which they were defeated 27 points to 26. It was a last-minute thriller between those two sides, which is exactly what a lot of people want to see for this game between the two sides. Looking at the way that the table sits, we do know that the Chiefs have confirmed their spot in the semi-finals. The same can be said about the Blues. Now, the way that Super Rugby is set up, it means that the top 4 who will go through here, it is then based off their ranking in the regular season. So if the Fijian Drua were to win this game, for instance, they would be going head-to-head with the Chiefs in the semi-final. Whereas if the Crusaders win this game, they will be playing up against the Blues, and the Chiefs would have to wait for the Brumbies Hurricanes winner to know who they're going head-to-head with. Hopefully that makes sense. It will in only 2 games' time when it has all been confirmed. Is it legit link to watch live? Sadly, we are not able to show any match footage or audio due to copyright, but we are doing the commentary for the game. The highlights will be up on the Super Rugby YouTube channel straight after the contest. But yeah, due to the licensing, YouTube would take us straight down if we were to show any footage, sadly. Bolivanaka says, Spider-Mick, what time will the match start? It is starting in only about 2 minutes' time. I believe the Fijian Drua will be doing their pre-match rituals, and then we are going to be underway. Anyone know how I can watch? Depends on whereabouts you are, Jalen. If you are in New Zealand, I believe you can get yourself a Sky Sport Now free trial, and that will give you, I believe, a 7-day pass, which would mean you would be able to catch these games, and also maybe 1 or 2 of the games next week would be involved. The other option is a Stan Sport free trial. If you've got a VPN or you are in Australia, you could go with a Stan Sport free trial of 7 days, and you'd be able to get this game. It's certainly going to be an entertaining one. The passion that we've seen from the Fijian Drua throughout this season has been unmatched. And now they are doing the Mboli Fijian Cultural Challenge before this match gets underway. How much do you think India can still win the World Test Championship final by chasing down a score of 400 on the last day as they did in Brisbane at the Gabba, or Australia will lift the title, says Coding? Well, it's a great question. I feel like Australia's bowling attack's just looking a little bit too strong at the moment with the fact that they are all taking wickets rather than just the one. Drua to win. I'm watching on the widescreen, says Kevin. Dosa Drua, says Sakeli. So do let me know your score predictions, ladies and gentlemen, in the chat. And also who you think will be the first try scorer in this game. For my prediction, we have seen so far 2 games take place in New Zealand where the away side have been the first try scorer. So I am going to stick with that. You can see the passion from Fiji. They're ready to rumble with the Satyrs. Derialangi ready to throw something at the Satyrs. So I'm going to say that it's Miri Derialangi who scores the first try of this contest. I'm going to say that the Fijian Drua start this match well. They need to play the territory game early and try and trap the Crusaders inside of their own half. That is what the Hurricanes did so well last week. They just didn't seem like they could get out of their own 50 meters. And that is where the Hurricanes started to pile on those points with the big men wearing down the Satyrs side. Anyone know where we can watch the live stream? Stan Sport Australia free trial. Best bet. And then you are able to cancel it before, of course, they charge you. Crusaders 32 to 17, says Jason, and 26-24 to the Drua, says Kevin. But it will be Brendan Pickerel in charge of this contest. He looks like he hasn't slept for about a week. He'll be nervous about this game. He knows that no matter who wins, he's going to get blamed. It is unfortunately just the case. Crusaders have won 100% of their games in home finals matches 27 times. So not only are the Fijian Drua going into a game up against the top side, they are going into a game that they could make history if they are able to break the chain. Richie Moonga, first try for me, says Crip there. And 34-31 to the Drua, but Tete Teller about to get us underway. And we all know he shanked it badly. It's like starting a PGA tour with a massive slice that goes into a puddle. That is going to be now the Crusaders who have got themselves the option of a scrum on the halfway line. Have to say, a little bit of an anticlimax in that scenario. Just didn't quite get onto it the way that he would have liked. Now we're going to get to see a scrum within the first minute of this quarterfinal. Like I mentioned, if the Drua win, they face the Chiefs. If the Crusaders win, they face the Blues. Crusaders Blues, that's certainly a big semi-final. The Drua Chiefs, they were able to get themselves the victory over the Fijian Drua. But who knows how this next one would go if that was the case. It's going to be Mitch Drummond feeding the ball, and he was absent last week, which did mean that we saw a couple youngsters, including Louis Chapman, get the opportunity. Now, big solid scrum. Christian Leo Willie goes to the right-hand side to Drummond, who then fires it back to Richie Moonga, looking for the 50-22, and I think that's going to be, it was actually Drua Sisi back there. Goes back down the middle of the field with his kick, cross to Will Jordan now. Does put in the boot of his own. It's his 50th match as well for the Crusaders, we should mention. And very good start for the Drua, says Crip. The ball's gone high. Celestino Ravatamunda tries to line it up, but it's big Scott Barrett who ends up with the ball. Lester Nuku with the quick carry. Now Richie Moonga off to the short side. Braden Enor down the wing. Breaks through one tackle. Breaks through another. Braden Enor still going only 2 meters out from the line now for the Crusaders. Drummond goes across now to Ollie Jaeger. He's going to be a hard man to stop, but I believe the Drua have not quite done it. And it's the try early. Ollie Jaeger scores the try for the Crusaders. For him to score the first try, that would have been paying like $43. So anyone who's an Ollie Jaeger fan who put the money on him would have been absolutely screaming at their television. Hamish, I assume you're picking. I think you love Fijian Drua, says coding. I mean, that is a start and a half for the Crusaders, though. Just the backline movement, not allowing the Fijian Drua to at all find their feet in this game. Brilliant run from Braden Enor to get them within a few meters, and then off to the right-hand side where Drummond found Jaeger, and he just powers his way over the try line. The Drua were close to stopping him, trying to roll him on his belly like he was a turtle. They weren't quite able to do so. Gets the try down. And also we have got the, yeah, let's go, and good one, Crusaders. Nice into the Drua. 100 says Mr. One, let's go, the Drua. And also I just about picked it, just short, says Jason. Tell you what, he was on an absolute tear, though, Braden Enor, with that carry. Who do you think's going to win? Hamish says Matthew. In my prediction video, I said the Crusaders were going to win this contest by about 9 points, I believe. That one is going to be going over. Successful conversion, and the score now 7-0 for the Crusaders after only the first 3 minutes. Hamish, did you do a video on Leinster versus Ulster before I was at the match? Says Adam TNT. Not sure. I think we did one of those games on Rugby 22, but I'm not sure which one. I'm a bit confused with the finals. If the Crusaders win, then they face the Blues next week at home. That is true, yep. So it would be a Crusaders versus Blues at OrangeTheory Stadium semi-final. Now Drummond just outside of the 22 at the moment for the Crusaders after a fantastic start. Now, it all kind of ended up coming from that kick that went short. This upstairs, George. Welcome in, George. Now kick downfield. Will Jordan trying to line that one up. A little bit of football skills there from Frank Lamani, but it's picked up by Mark. No, it was Lester Whainarnuku. Now Will Jordan ends up with the ball again for the Crusaders. Meri Dirialangi unlucky to not get the turnover. The penalty advantage now in favour of the Crusaders. Jack Goodhue goes back across to the right-hand side. Richie Moonga with the cross kick attempt. And the bounce of the ball goes into touch. They'll go back for the penalty. Fire up Fijian Drua, says Blues. Nay, I believe the Crusaders, even though they could take the 3 here, I think they'll go for the corner. They need to keep that pressure applying while they've got the Fijian Drua on the back foot. They're playing at a tempo at the moment, which means that my voice is not going to last for this whole game. Crusaders by 28, says David, and fire up the Fijian Drua. And here's George. Welcome in, George. There's Adam TNT. And the although different George to the Kiwi lads, George, of course. Now, Richie Moonga, he will be kicking this one for the corner. Crusaders, they're going to test out this rolling maul that they have. Can be extremely dangerous. What? Says George. And whose? Says Nate. Going to be a Crusaders 7-meter line out. Taken by Scott Barrett. And now the rolling maul commences. Cody Taylor sitting there at the back, waiting for his opportunity to slowly and methodically walk this one towards the try line. 2 meters out. It's going to be another try for the Crusaders as they march, and Cody Taylor goes in and scores the second try of the match. 5 minutes in, 12 points to 0 in favour of the Crusaders. They've come to OrangeTheory Stadium to make a statement right here. And Crusaders do good for the draw. 45 points to 17, says Mataputa. Or Mataputa. How do you play cricket? I do indeed. We've actually got a couple cricket videos up on the channel. Fun fact. But Cody Taylor just waiting patiently at the back of the rolling maul. At the moment, we have seen 2 forwards, 2 front rowers scoring the first 2 tries. That only leaves Tamaiti Williams now for that Crusaders front 3. And yes, up the Crusaders, says Crip in there as well. But Cody Taylor goes over line. Razor, very happy with that one. Scott Robinson. Now the kick for Richie Moonga. It is going to be once again a relatively easy one for him. But I did mention about the fact that the Crusaders were looking for that corner rather than going for the 3 points. They knew if they kept applying that pressure that they may be able to lead to early points for the Fijian Drua, or against the Fijian Drua, I should say. Now 6 minutes in. Richie Moonga to line up this kick. Taking his time with this one, making sure it goes over, and is over as well. So 14-0 now for the Crusaders. Where do you watch, or who do you watch? Who do you watch this, or where do you watch this? I assume it's where do you watch this, and I am watching on Sky Sport 1 here in New Zealand. And go the Crusaders, says Aparama. And also we have got their Omatapita in Fiji, South Africa. And also our Hurricanes fan here, says Darren. So you'll be looking forward to that next game, which is just around the corner now. Lester Whainarnuku taking that one nicely. Draw again in a reality check, says Jason. Well, they just haven't had the ball, which is the big thing. They had that kickoff opportunity where they tried to go short, and ever since then, they have not had a single phase in their favour. It looks like Drummond now is going to be rolling this ball back, so it may seem like the Drua now have got themselves an attacking opportunity, but taken, knocked on by Leicester Whananuku. First carry for the Fijian Drua of this contest is going to be Tite Tele. You can hear the crowd roaring. They are certainly behind the Fijian Drua for this one. Ravovo just keeps the ball in the field of play, but they will go back, and it is going to be now going back for the penalty advantage. In fact, the knock-on advantage it is against the Crusaders. Go to say, it says Jack. And also, Hamish, if you play some rugby in school or college, I used to play at school, but then I was out on the wing. I never got the ball because we had a greedy halfback and a greedy scrum half. So ended up giving it up. Well, this is as depressing. Says Distracted Sports. You're not the start to the match that you would have been after. Because, of course, ideally you want the Drua to win, Distracted Sports, so that you have a home game at Eden Park. You might even be able to go to that game if that was the case. Go to say, it says Jack in there as well. The Fijian Drua fans, they are still in loud voice all around the ground, which is great to see. My uncle's at the game as well. Some of you guys know Uncle. He was on the live stream at one stage. He was a one-eyed Crusader supporter. Frank Lamani about to feed this ball, and it's 95% success rate at scrum time, but that is a big push there from the Crusaders. And we'll have to have another scrum reset. This is going to be easy red and black. There's Michael Gray. A new mark here for the scrum. Already seen 2 tries scored. Cody Taylor got 1. Also, the other try scored by Tamaiti Williams. Oh, sorry, not Tamaiti Williams. By Ollie Jaeger on the other side of the scrum. It's like a relatively packed OrangeTheory Stadium as well, which is great to see. You'd like to think that that would be the same next week if they have the home game. Or it would be a home game for the Blues. Now, ball about to be fed in for Frank Lamani. A big push there from the Crusaders. They need to get that ball out, which they struggled to do so, and it's going to be a knock on there from the Fijian Drua. Crusaders now have got themselves the scrum. Only 9 minutes in, and these Fijian Drua forwards are already really feeling the pressure. Play for Shankill GAA in Dublin, Ireland. There's Adam, but yeah, just a little knock on from Frank Lamani. You need to put your Drua shirt on to give them a chance, says Jason. Well, who's saying I don't already have it on, Jason? Oops, that exposed it more, didn't it? It hasn't quite worked this week by the looks of it. Yet, anyway. Now another scrum. Crusaders have got the feed. The Drua aren't careful here. They may end up with a penalty advantage against them. Looks like Whananuku might be ready to have another crack off the back of a scrum. Ball has gone in. Big push there. It's gone down in the front rows. And the penalty goes the way of the Crusaders there for the front row of the Fijian Drua collapsing. I believe that is on that far side. We'll now march back. That is against Hiriti Hitit in that scenario. 10 minutes in. See the sweat dripping off the Fijian Drua players. This is a lot colder than they are used to playing in. Would say as well. And go the Drua, says Vaivalu. Also, we have got the WhatsApp Kiwi lad. Good to hear you, bud, from Oiland. Says Nate Dog. Hopefully I've said that correctly, but welcome in, Nate. Hope you are doing very well, mate. Still 2 more games, including this one, to go tonight. And who's saying I don't have it on? I do, says Adam TNT. It looks like Crusaders will win comfortably, says Coding. Now running up to only 15 metres out from the line. Mitch Drummond goes across to Christian Leo Willie. Great run forward from another forward of the Crusaders. Now I'm looking out for Tamaiti Williams here. A bit of a loose ball from the Satyrs. Dallas McLeod manages to clean it up, but he is forced into touch by the physicality of the Fijian Drua backline. Also Crusaders all the way, but I know for sure this is a tough game. There's Makanesi there. Dallas McLeod after the loose ball from Richie Mongi. He didn't really have too many options other than to try and take contact, in which the Drua were able to push them towards the touchline. Now it will be the throw for Ikanaveri. Nicely taken by Zoana Sila. Ball is loose. It's gone backwards, but it's an advantage against the Crusaders now for the Fijian Drua. There's the advantage for the knock-on. Garavo, Kiwi lad, Hamish, says Peter Stowers. Welcome in, mate. 11 minutes in. Frank Lamani has got this ball at the back of the breakdown now. Going across to Taitella. Tries the little chip in behind, and they will now go back for the scrum in favor of the Fijian Drua. Moment we've had, I think this is about our fourth or fifth scrum of this contest. So there's probably going to be quite a few more throughout this game. Both sides playing at a frantic tempo, which does lead to little mistakes. Also, the dewy conditions means it's a little bit damp underfoot, bit slippery. Yeah, it could be a good day for scrums, which I feel heavily favors the Crusaders. They've already shown after winning a couple scrum penalties that they are the bigger pack and maybe the more technical pack out of the two. The Fijian Drua, though, you know they're just going to throw their bodies at the opposition, which works well. But in this case, it may just be that little bit more tricky for it to work for them in this quarterfinal. Frank Lamani now go the Drua go, says Joshua there. And that's the thing. Even with the score sitting 14-0, the Drua have a huge amount of support in their favour from their home side. The crowd. Oh, it's another penalty to the Crusaders. For the front row, I think it was actually the arm this time. Masaki Donge gets it wrong. And now the Crusaders, they could take the 3 if they want it, but I think they're going to put the foot on the jugular and try and get this one into the corner again. Also, how many channel members Kiwi Lads have ever pressed the join button? I believe it's about 20, if I'm not wrong, somewhere around there. That one has gone into touch. Now going to be about 5, minus the 0 on there. 5 meters out from the line. This is dangerous again for the Crusaders. Ollie Jaeger already scoring. Cody Taylor already scoring. Now nicely taken by Scott Barrett. And the rolling maul starts. Looks like it is going to be recycled back to Cody Taylor. This is like a training draw at the moment for the Crusaders, the way that they are marching towards the try line here with Cody Taylor at the back. They are trying their absolute best to defend the draw, but Cody Taylor's over. And it will be the 3rd try of the match. They just want to check it. Cody Taylor, though, he looks pretty comfortable with it. Go the draw, go. Says Sairan, come on the draw, make it a good game. Says Peter Stiles, and let's go the Crusaders. Says Teofu. They just want to check to see whether or not there was a knock on there. They're saying try. He could have gone in the outside to Mitch Drummond, but he didn't like him. Thinks he looks a little bit too much like Chucky, so he decided to go himself. And, we might have to see that from another angle here. I know that Cody Taylor, he hits the ground pretty hard. Yeah, that's a try. Got the ball over the line there, Taylor, and he will score the 3rd try of the match now for the Crusaders. They will be sitting with a 19-0 lead over the Fijian Drua after only the 13 minutes in this matchup. Looking like this will be a massacre, says Geza, the random reviver. And the unfortunate factor for the Fijian Drua, they had a fantastic win up against the Reds last week, but they've got an angry Crusaders side in front of them. Not just a Crusaders side, but a side that lost last week. You don't want to be the team who has to face the Crusaders after they've lost. Definitely not at this stage of the competition because they are firing on all cylinders for the first 14. Crusaders smashing out the gate, says Nate Dogg. Yeah, 3 tries all scored by the forwards at this stage. Seems like it is going to be a good day to be one of those Crusaders forwards in the pack. At the moment, points and finals games, Richie Moonga sitting on 199. This would be his 201st point if it's successful and it goes straight down the middle. He's got a little way to go before he gets to Dan Carter at 299. Cody Taylor's got a bit of strapping on his head. Won't mind it too much. Already scored 2 tries, looking for a hat trick in this contest. And I have to say, the chance of it happening probably aren't a mile off. For Cody Taylor, Crusaders have no show of losing. Cheers from Sydney, says Hona. And there's, yeah, definitely not, like I mentioned, after losing their last contest, they were always going to be angry. Tete Teller kicks it off, doesn't go the 10 meters for the Fijian Drua, which now means that is 2 kickoffs for the Fijian Drua in which they have not been able to kick it 10 meters, which is a big shame because it's going to put extra pressure on them. Just a reminder to the Drua, another team that Crusaders are the champs, and they know how to do it, says Taofu. Yeah, 27 from 27 wins at OrangeTheory Stadium in finals rugby, which is why it's so important for the Chiefs to win their semi-final, because then it's away from home for the Crusaders if they do go through to the final. Although at this stage it looks like the Crusaders, they would be taking on the Blues in their next game. Hello, back after getting ready to run out of work in 15 minutes. Go the Crusaders, looking good there. Wow, Hamish is smashing it out the park. See his roof, and that is exactly what the Crusaders have been doing this first 15. We have hardly seen the Drua with the ball. We know that when they do have the ball, they can be extremely dangerous. That back line, Ronnie Sal, the sledgehammer, is going to be coming off the bench later on in this game. I'm looking forward to seeing him. That will be another penalty advantage in favour of the Crusaders at scrum time. Now Mitch Drummond goes across to the right-hand side. Will Jordan with Moonga on his outside. Goes to McLeod, who cuts inwards off the wing. Now moves to 38 metres out. Drummond goes to the left. Scott Barrett sold the dummy as if he was going to the try scorer. Jaeger instead takes it himself. Now Goodhue goes to Quinton Strange. Enor got Moonga there. A little bit of a stutter step, driven down in the tackle by the try scorer Machina, Ronnie Sau. In fact, no, it wasn't. Sorry, it was Alsefa Masi, another man who scores quite a few tries. Crusaders got swallowed up. This huge hurricane in Wellington. Now it's going to be kicked in behind. Sits up nicely, but then the ball is loose. Believe it has gone back into the hands of the Crusaders, sitting on the 22 now, going off to the right-hand side. Big step from Scott Barrett. Looked for the offload. It was loose, but Christian Leo Willie picks it up. Now they are 10 out from the line. Drummond goes to the left-hand side. Will Jordan with a bit of a step, tackled hard by Nasila Sila and Hiariti Hitit. Now Drummond goes off to the left-hand side. Goodhue goes to Moonga. Really had to stretch for that one, doing a little bit of a fancy footwork there, Richie Moonga. 5 meters out from the line. Lester Whananuku picks it up. Tries to break around the side of the ruck. This is just great phase play at the moment for the Crusaders. Back to back to back. Just out from the Drua line. Looked like Quinton Strange might have lost his footing there. And because of it, almost a turnover there for the Fijian Drua. But Drummond gets it back across. Sione Havili Talatui goes across the Will Jordan. Tries the cross kick taken by Drua Sisi. Oi. Did he get it down? What happened here? Okay, it's a goal line dropout. I was confused. Drua Sisi, he kind of put the ball down. And then from there, just kind of chilled out. But luckily, he was down. The Drua have been exposed. What is the biggest winning margin in playoff history? Could be changing tonight, says Jason. Oh, I don't know about the biggest margin. I feel like there's still a bit of Drua fight in there. But yeah, Drua Sisi forces the ball down, they say, which I think's debatable. But then it was kicked away by the Fijian Drua anyway, so it works out. Your channel feature is Isaac Williams. That is true. One of the other Kiwi lads. They will, says Makanesi. And can the Drua score at least one try? I think they will. Throughout this game, it's just the Crusaders at the moment. This first 20 minutes, they have been relentless in the way they've been attacking. Luckily, this game is over here. If it wasn't Fiji, then the Drua would smash up easily. But today, the Crusaders' day, says Darman. And that's the other side of things. It's not just the fact that the Crusaders lost last week to the Hurricanes. It's because the Fijian Drua beat the Crusaders the last time that they played. So that made them angrier, I would say, for this contest. And they really wanted to prove a point, saying that when we're at OrangeTheory Stadium, we are a very tough side to beat. Around the side, now Christian Leo Willie, they are still 10 meters out from the line. The Crusaders, Lester Whananuku with another pick and go. I'm looking at someone like the big man Tamaiti Williams here, mainly because we've seen all of the other forwards in that front row score. That is a drop ball. It's gone backwards. Then there might have been a juggle on the ground from Whananuku, but if there wasn't, he's just scored another try. And then the Crusaders score. There's Ralulu. The fireworks are going off in the background. They are confident it's a try. It's just whether or not Lester Whananuku did knock that ball on the ground before going into the contact. We got the George emoji from Jason there as well. And number 10 on the Crusaders. Let's go, sir. Right, they are checking for the knock-on. Found it. I was looking for the drink bottle. Right, it's Lester Whananuku that they... Oh, that might have been close to one too, actually. Right. Yeah, that's a knock-on. So that will be a no try for Lester Whananuku. Be called no try. Knock-on from, it was, in the end, Christian Leo Willie. Stay hydrated, mate, says Nate Dog. Yeah, the voice is already struggling. We've still got a few more live streams. All right, sorry, Drua. Crusaders playing different level, says Teofo. And if the ABs face England in the World Cup, I go AB, sorry, mum. England not good enough, says Spidermick. Possession at the moment, though. 87% for the Crusaders. Territory, 93%. Time in opposition, 22. The Fijian Drua have not even touched the Crusaders' side of the field yet, other than when they kick off short and it doesn't go the 10 meters. But now this is the chance for them. They've got a scrum 5 meters out from the line. Frank Lamani gets that ball at the back, goes off to Tite Tello, who runs it straight at Jack Goodhue. Now Frank Lamani, he has his hands on the ball, so I believe Drummond is able to play at him. A bit of a mistake there from the Drua. Is it game over for the Drua, says Peter Stowers? It's certainly going to be tough to get back into this contest, that is for sure, but they probably 100% need to be the next team to score a try. We have seen sides come back from 21-0 before, but in this scenario, with hardly any possession, always makes it tough. Now Will Jordan finds himself in open space, gets tackled by Celestino Ravatamunda, goes off to Dallas McLeod, fitting into that number 14 jersey pretty well. so far for the Crusaders. Of course, another signing that they have got for next year, Levi Amua. Wondering what that man will be able to do. Quick hands there from the Crusaders. Dallas McLeod wrestled down awkwardly by his opposite number, Ravatamanda. They have reached the quarter stage in this contest. 20 minutes down to Mike T. Williams, his first carry. Now Drummond goes to Richie Moonga with the cross kick pass out to Braden Inor now. Nice run forward again from him. He's actually been pretty impressive throughout the Super Rugby season, I have to say. It's just whether or not they decide that he is an option. Christian Leo Willie knocks the ball on again, and now the Fijian Drua, they've got the ball in hand. But one of the field, they kick it away. Kicked it downfield, straight to Will Jordan. And now it's going to be another attacking opportunity for the Crusaders. Two good Crusaders. Crusaders are angry and hungry right now. They certainly are. Will Jordan kicks it downfield, gives it back to the Fijian Drua. Will be as Liza Drua Sisi has the run up to the halfway line. Tom Christie trying to get over the ball for the turnover. He ends up giving away the penalty advantage in the process. Drua still in first gear. Says ice card. They're certainly going to have to ramp it up to fifth by the time we get to the second half. Now they are sitting on the halfway line. Heriti Hitit goes across the Tite Teller. Crusaders rush defense there. Nice pass on the outside. Here comes Valive Mira. He's got the options. He's got to go to him now. Gives it out to Meri Dedialangi. Ravatamanda close to the touchline. Just keeps the field in the play. Or keeps the ball in the field of play. Offloaded on the inside. Loose ball bouncing. Taken by Sione Havili Talatui. But the best attacking opportunity for the Fijians. Showing what they can do when they're offered space. Now Barrett inside of his own 22. Doing a bit of a sidestep there. Just setting it up for the kick downfield. Fijian has no way to win because Crusaders take out stress by the playoffs. There's Boy Customer. Good kick downfield from the Crusaders. And now the Fijian Drua will have themselves an attacking line out. Drua is badly beaten here in the first round. Should throw in the towel. We are seeing the difference between passion and professionalism when the knockout stages start, says Jason. We're also seeing how effective possession can be because I felt the same way about that game when the Crusaders did play the Hurricanes. First half, it was all Crusaders. They had so much possession. Second half, they could hardly touch the ball, and that changed their game completely. So the Drua just need to get a few phases going here to try and get them a little bit closer back into the game. That's great work, though. Oh, no, it's an advantage. Round the side, Tavera Ikanaveri moves up to the 22-meter line now. Lamani goes to the left, looping around. It's going to be Drua Sisi. Big shot coming in from Lestafana Nuku. Any free streaming sites? Only Stansport free trial in Australia is your best bet. Chiefs almost lost his Boy Customer. Yeah, they had a tough game. Another advantage against the Crusaders. Now that discipline starting to get questioned a little bit. Rush defense there from Dallas McLeod. Great pick up from Celestino Ravatamanda. In fact, it's Ravovo out on that side. Now Lamani goes to the right. Crusaders working on that rush defense, trying to stop the Drua from making any extra meters. All available again for Lamani. Goes off to Medi Dedialangi. And Chiefs almost lost. Oh, no, I read that one, didn't I? Now Lamani again goes off to the right-hand side. Takayla Muns puts a little chip in behind. Raman says, that's mine, thank you. And they will go back for the original penalty, the Fijian Drua. Now, they have to make a big decision here. They either need to go for the rolling ball or they need to go for the scrum or the tap. They cannot take on 3 points at this stage. Just because that would be, oh, they've taken on the 3 points. Okay. So, yeah. I guess that's to slow down the game, I guess, for one. I don't know if I agree. Like, I understand why they want the points on the board, but you're 21-0 down after 23 minutes. I would have thought maybe a little bit more points would have been nice. Big brain, says Jason, who's in the back line, says, Boy Customer. So, if we're talking the Fijian Drua, backline, it is going to be Frank Lamani, Caleb Muntz, Tite Teller, Osefumasi, Celestino Ravatamanda, Kalaviti Ravovo, and also Eliza Drua Sisi, the last man in that Fijian backline. Have you done a video on Minecraft? We once tried to. We did a recording. The recording corrupted, so we had about a 20-second montage of George saying, is that a cave? And that was up on the channel. That was the old school Kiwi lads days before rugby existed. For us, that kick has gone over. So the Fijian Drua, they are not losing this game to 0 if they do end up getting defeated today. I remember watching 2005 Fiji All Blacks, 91 points to 0, says Drua fan. Now the Crusaders, they will be able to kick this one off. Crusaders really punishing Drua here. The left and right combination hurt the Druas badly, says Spider Mech. Now Richie Moonga. Kick this one nice and high down towards the 22. Now the Fijian Drua, though, they find themselves inside of their own half. They will have to try and work it for the balls come out the side, and the Crusaders almost got themselves a turnover. Kalaviti Ravovo now close to the touch line, playing a bit of tightrope walking, goes across the month. They're only a couple meters from their line now, the Fijian Drua, but it's Valive. No, it's Osifa Masi actually who carries that one up. It doesn't look like they want to kick this from where they are, which is risky. Definitely with someone like a Tom Christie, always looking for those turnovers. One's kicked high from Frank Lamani this time. They decided to go for a downfield. Will Jordan takes it nicely, and now the Crusaders back in position 40 meters out from the Drua line. Cody Taylor just standing still, chilling out in the front row. Drummond goes to the kick and behind again, trying to play that territory game. There was spacing behind, and it's a fantastic kick from Mitch Drummond, or is it? It just rolls out in the end, so they will go right back to where he kicked it from. That is exactly what the Drua needed. Great achievement, Drua. No duck for you. Says it was Jason. Where's Johnny Dyer? I think he went overseas, and I think he either went to another club or he might be injured. And keep pushing the Drua, says the party and Drua fan. I remember the AB's draw against Fiji in the 70s. And who's getting crucified tonight? Oh, not my poor Drua, says Stone Cold. Points to Fiji, says Nate Dogg, and Crusaders are too easy. You got the Scott Robinson, says Todd Smith. They are just currently talking to the assistant coach, James Marshall, I should say. Talking about that unstructured play. Now they want to make sure that they are playing relatively structured. There's that try. There's Makanisi there. The Fijian Drua sitting about 42 meters out from their own line. Currently, they are down by 18 points. The 3 converted tries to help get them back in there. His name is Johnny Dyer. At the 100, says Nate, and get another try. Crusaders keep adding up to that lead. Frank Lamani feeds the ball, a massive scrum from the Crusaders. All of the Fijian fullback were floating backwards, but big run forward now from Eliza Druasisi. They were just able to get the ball out. Another penalty goes against the Fijian Drua, that time for not releasing. Tom Christie gets the turnover for his side. We know that the Crusaders aren't taking on 3-pointers here. They will be kicking for the corner, trying to turn it into a 7 or 5 points. That is 4 penalties against the Fijian Drua. Out of the first 5, only one against the Crusaders was in the 24th minute. One's been kicked into touch now. It's a good kick downfield as well. But Tom Christie saw the opportunity to get that turnover, got over the ball, and very quickly managed to get the Crusaders the penalty. Looks like there's time off at the moment. What's that for? That's a player down. It's Hiriti Hatet by the looks of it. And what time left on the game, please? At the moment, we are sitting 27 minutes, 40 seconds through. So in this game, we've still got another 52 minutes and 20 seconds. That was very specific. 53 minutes. Easier way of looking at it. Looks like Hatet is holding the hamstring here. Might be a bit of an awkward one for him, but anyone wondering about the starting lineup for this Fijian Drua side, we will put it up on the screen. This is what they have gone with. They've got a strong backline. They've actually gone with relatively similar backline to what they did have in last week's game when they were victorious over the Reds. Drua Sisi, he came back into the side, though, which moved Celestino Ravatamanda from 15 to 14, and that got rid of Ronnie Sau in the starting side and said he will be coming off the bench. But we haven't seen too much of Murray yet. The young number 70 is in the Fijian under-20 side. He hasn't really had too much of an opportunity other than just making tackles, because that is what the Fijian Drua have found themselves doing a lot throughout this first 27 minutes of the game. And the Crusaders backline, says boy customer for the Crusaders. They have got themselves quite a strong side. They haven't got Severese in there, of course, due to his injury, but they got Drummond back at number 9. He was missing from last week's game. Instead, it was Chapman, and then Lamb did come off the bench. Richie Moonga, Jack Kutu, Braden Eno, they've been working well in the midfield so far. Lester Whananoku, the try-scoring machine, out on the left. McLeod out on the right, and then Will Jordan at 15. Looks like there is going to be a replacement. It is actually going to be for the Fijian Drua. It will be Mele Tuni, who makes his way onto the field for the Drua, and that is due to Hiriti Hatet's injury. But a few good players off the bench. The sledgehammer, Ronnie Sau, like I mentioned. The young Che Fiaki for the Crusaders, and also Ethan Blackadder. Going to be a dangerous one later on in the game. But yeah, it's a shame to see Hiriti Hatet got himself the injury. I'm glad Hamish is consistent. I can see him on TV within 4 years, says Chris Brown. And also, I think Titatella has been dragging their team down, says Edwin. That's the question. Do you put him at 10 or do you put him at 12? He has had 2 unsuccessful kicking attempts throughout this one. Now the Crusaders looking to get this rolling ball going. Drummond trying to get a player out of there. Trying to break him off. They've been told to use it once. Now Cody Taylor breaks off the side. Great step from him. Now only a couple meters out from the line again for the Crusaders. Leicester Nuku. There's going to be the advantage in favour of the home side. Drummond goes off to the right. Now it's going to be a big run forward from Sione Havili Talatui for sideways. Back into the pocket. Here's Richie Moonga with the step. And another one. Richie Moonga. No, he's going to be just short of the line. 2 meters out. Now Nuku once again picks the ball up at the breakdown. That is something that he does consistently. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't quite. He's already got 11 tries for the season, though, so certainly doing something right. Leicester Nuku. They are still under penalty advantage. Here comes the man mountain to Mighty Williams. Back across. Now to the right-hand side, Sione Havili Talatui. Ball goes down. Picked up by Braden Eno's driven into the turf. And they will go back for the original penalty. And Rajif has said the Crusaders there in the bold letters like he's playing Scrabble. Now, I think they're going to go for the tap and go here. If I had to guess, either that or a scrum. I think, yep, they're going to go for the scrum. That is to try and possibly end up with the Fijian Drua only having 14 men on the field. Status should slow down here, save some for the Blues next week. Blues, not the Drua, says Spider Mech. Yeah, it's been decent defense so far from the Drua. They just haven't had enough position. I wish I could watch the actual game, says Great Eye Gaming. So the best bet is to have a Stan Sport free trial if you are in Australia. If you're outside of Australia, you will need a VPN to be able to access that. So that is another option that you could use to be able to watch this game for free. Or you could also check out the YouTube channel of Super Rugby after the game. You will be able to catch the highlights rather than the live commentary. 30 minutes into this game already, and the Drua get to find their rhythm. The Crusaders, they are the most dangerous when it is the second quarter of a game. Who do you go for? Says Talfu. Well, I am from Canterbury, but I am wearing Fijian Drua kit. There you go. So I'm split both ways. There's one thing you do, says Great Eye Gaming. And also, Chiefs save it for the semi-final status. For the Blues next week and 30 already, says the Snooze. Now, that one's going sideways. Going to be another scrum reset. Not stable, says Brendan Pickerel. They've gone a little bit more to the left here. I reckon it's going to be a Chiefs and Satyrs final, says Woody. Whatever, says Taofu. And also the Brumbies are dangerous. People just watched today, says Danston. A nice kit, lad, says Nate Dog. And goes same, I'm Canterbury, says Great Eye Gaming. It's interesting, though, because the Brumbies at home come in as underdogs for that game up against the Hurricanes. It's pretty even overall. I believe about $2 for the Brumbies, maybe $1.90, $1.70 for the Canes. I love a top. Oh, sorry, I love a tap and go. It's a rare beast nowadays, says Fleshin. Yeah. Although one side that do it well is actually the Fijian Drua. All Moana Pacifica, they're willing to put the body on the line and just charge at the line. Another big scrum there from the Crusaders. They'll be looking for the penalty advantage here, and they have now got it. Lamani tries to go in to steal the ball, now picks it up, and it will go back for the penalty in favour of the Crusaders. Double blow of the whistle. This is getting closer and closer to a yellow card, unfortunately, for the Drua, and that is going to make this game go from bad to worse for them. Okay, you got to stay on side if they infringe again. I think they're going, oh, no, Richie's got the ball in hand. Is he going scrum or are they going corner? Yep, they are going for the scrum again. Cheer, brothers, snooze. Crusaders going hard. Gas station next week. Maybe a liquor stop after this, says the snooze. What's up, says Amelia. Welcome in. Hope you are doing well at the moment. The Fijian Drua, they do find themselves 21 points to 3 down up against the Crusaders. Like they've said, a chance of a yellow card. Hopefully it's an all New Zealand semi-final, says Junior Ryder, and go to Drua Saders. Hey, Hamish, there's big light. Drua Saders is quite a good combination of both of these sides, isn't it? Right. The Mighty Williams versus Masake Donge. been a tough battle. I feel like Masaki Donge. Oh, that's too much movement at scrum time. That's almost got to be, unlucky for the Fijian Drua. Looks like they have got a free kick now. Cody Taylor trying to get back to the mark. He had big Tamaiti Williams in his way. It was like trying to go around a brick wall. Just couldn't get through it. I need to find another $2 Highlanders jersey so I can have one to bring them some, or so you can have one. Bring them some next luck next year. I bloody love a Highlanders. I've looked at getting them, but they're always $150 down here. Oh, Leo Willie gets very close to the line now. Sione Aveli Talatui around the side. Another try for the Crusaders. That'll be the 4th for the day now. My dad's cousin plays for the Crusaders. Says, Woody, my dad's cousin's son. Who's your dad's cousin's son, Woody? Do let me know. And did you go to Denny's in Christchurch, bro, last week? Says Nick. We didn't actually end up going that way. I know that we went. Where did we end up going? We ended up at a Mexican place for some reason, which was weird because like half of us didn't even like Mexican food. But we somehow ended up there and then at a bowling alley. I think was where we went for the dinner. For the lunch, I don't actually think we really had lunch. Only snacks. So yeah, we missed out on the chance. Corey Tor was out injured, says Junior Ryder. Not ideal. What jersey size would you be? I am a medium jersey. For myself, red wash. Says the Fijian guy it is. Is Tamaiti Williams. Okay, so big Tamaiti Williams in the front row. That is another forward try. All 4 tries scored by the forwards. Okay, Tite Teller, please kick this 10 meters. That's all he's got to do. 10. He's blown it twice. 10 meters. And up the Crusaders. The hats off to the draw. Outstanding this season, says Don. And also game match. Yeah, for the draw to even be in this match, I feel like has made a lot of the naysayers realize they are a top contender when they get going. Maybe a jersey makes them lose for the game tonight, says Ta'afo. You think I've maybe worn it one too many times. To be fair, I didn't wear the Chiefs kit and they won, so maybe could be on to something there. Oh, stolen! Ravatamunda for the Fijian Drua. Oh, that's a big old dive from him. Get in the high jump competition. But that will be the try for the Fijian Drua, their first of the match. Might have been a bit of a gift from the Satyrs, just going for that wide cutout pass. Didn't quite work out for him. Noggins, bro, hope you're doing well up the Satyrs. And also, Crusaders will win this game, says Malachi. But Celestino, Ravatamunda. Will Jordan throws the interception pass to Quinton Strange. Ravatamunda read it like a book. Did the big dive at the end and scores the first try of the match for the Fijian Drua. The big dive, he knew where the camera was. Let's go the Drua, and wow, the smiley face and woo the Drua. And do you want all New Zealand teams for the semi-finals, says Big Light? I am pretty impartial in terms of who goes through. At the end of the day, as long as there's good semi-final matchups, I'm happy. Cheer Bro Canes all day. I hope the boys get it done in Canberra, says Junior Ryder. Now Frank Lamani lining up this kick for the Drua. This one is still a relatively important one, but not the end of the world if he misses. And did you not wash it after last week? Might explain why they stink tonight, says Jason. The kick, Lamani shanked it out to the left. That will keep the score at 28 points to 8 in favour of the Crusaders. Crusaders have this game in their hand, says Kenny Sports. They've set a gift for Celestino Ravatamunda. No one was going to be catching him. Always late start. Second half will be interesting. Draw comeback, says the Fijian guy. I'd like to think that that's not their last try that they will score throughout this game. Kicked off high by the Crusaders. Nicely taken by Asoana Silasila. 25 metres out from his own line now. It's going to be Frank Lamani. Back across to the right-hand side. Attack and run there from the Drua again. Come on, the Drua, says Linus Tube. Now, Ikanaveri. Slowly building it up here. Looks like Lamani will this time go for the box kick. It has gone extremely high and not too far, but they've got a couple Drua players after it. Scott Barrett knocks the ball on. It sits up now for Kalaveti Ravovo, and the Fijian Drua starting to maybe find a little bit of momentum here. Masangi Donge now carries 45 metres out from their own line. Big carry forward from Kayla Muntz, putting the body on the line. The ball bounces out the back. It's going to be picked up well by Sione Havili Talatui, though. So now the Crusaders are back in possession. Drummond back into the pocket to Will Jordan. Kicks it downfield. There's a lot of talking. I should be an auctioneer. That's close to the touchline as Liza Durasisi. Now goes back across to Celestino Ravatamunda. In fact, it's going to be Kalaveti Ravovo. About 20 metres out from his own line now. And so the Kiwi lads says Apollo and Drua, or Go Drua, you can do it. says Peter Rabbit. And how are the Drua looking? They got off to a slow start. They haven't defended terribly, though. I know that 4 tries makes it look like they may have, but if we look at some tackling stats, I'll see if I can get some quickly here. I don't think they have missed a huge amount of tackles. They've made a huge amount of tackles, but I don't think they've missed a huge amount. Tackles, ooh, okay, they've made 82 tackles, missed 14, which is still, like, that's a lot of tackles to make only 37 minutes into a game. Now you can take off your sweater. Of course, they score now. Says Taufo, and also we have got there, where's your friend tonight? He is at his house. I messaged him before, and he said that he won't be coming around for the Hurricanes-Brumbies game either, so I am doing it solo for tonight. Well, solo commentary. I've got all you guys in the chat as well, of course. Are you getting into horse racing mode? Says Fleshin. Yeah, there's plenty of action happening in this game now. An ice wide ball to Kalaveti Ravoa. Richie Mwanga misses the tackle. Same with Dallas McLeod. Jack Goodshoe manages to take him down, throws the offload. Celestino Ravatamunda. Somehow the Fijians keep that ball in the field of play. Looked a little bit high from Tom Christie, and the penalty goes the way of the Drua. You have to talk this quick, though, for this game, because these two sides, they don't really have breaks. That was a quick tap taken by the Fijian Drua, who's the Fijian Drua best player at the moment. I would say, best player. I've liked what I've seen from Ravatamunda. Ravovo's been pretty solid as well. Lots of tackles in the first half. Nice run forward again from Drua. Sassi got an awkward knee in the back there in the breakdown, but 40 metres out from the line, the Drua finally getting themselves some position, and they're starting to make it pay. That's going to be the penalty in their favour. Frank Lamani takes the quick tap, rushing up to the 22. Brilliant work from the Fijian Drua to make those extra metres. Now Masangi Donge goes around the side of the breakdown. 1 minute remaining in this first half. Mira taken down low. Is there ever a time for the Fijian Drua to score? It's right now, but the counter-ruck from the Crusaders is strong, and they get the ball back. Was a knock-on, though, from Christian Leo Willie in the breakdown, and the Fijian Drua now have the scrum feed. Got the ball skills. That's for sure. Half-time now, 1 minute away from the half-time. Lots of tackles for the first half. And also thoughts on the Fijian Drua being a feeding team for the Fiji World Cup team. I think it will help, especially with set pieces and conditioning from Super Rugby. I agree. I mean, 23 Fijian Drua players were selected in that wider training squad for the Fijians, which is absolutely awesome for them, because those are 23 players that theoretically 2 years ago may have just been playing in the either NRC or some lower league competition. Some of these players who are in that side now, we may have never seen without the Fijian Drua side being a thing. As you're going to go live for the World Cup, you're going to do, or only going to do the AB's game. We are doing every single game of the Rugby World Cup on the channel, whether that is Portugal taking on Georgia, or whether that's AB's taking on France. We got you covered. Now 24 metres out. Frank Lamani about to feed this ball, and they need to get this out of this scrum as quickly as physically possible. Ball's fed in. Solid scrum this time. Now they go off to the left-hand side. Frank Lamani goes to Osefo Masi. We hear the siren sounding now. Lamani had his hands on the ball. He does that a little bit, which is concerning. He kind of hangs around, holds on to that ball at the back, and then will pass it off after someone's made contact. Masangi Donge. Nice big run forward from him to Mighty Williams. Wants the ball. He's grabbed that one from the ground to Mighty Williams. That should be a penalty to the Fijian Drua, I believe. But instead, I think, it's going to end up with the scrum going the way of the Crusaders, and that will be the end of the half, ladies and gentlemen. Score 28 points to 8. Fijian Drua is pretty much their international squad without the stars who are playing in Europe, says Hanny. And also welcome, says Abdullah Malik. And did the Chiefs get revenge? They did, but they made it look difficult. It was a pretty tricky one. Who's your All Blacks, or what's your All Blacks 15? Well, it would be hard to deny either Talia or Stevenson a spot. You got to have at least one of those two, don't you? And there, but then also that 4-pack. I mean, we've seen some fantastic players coming up through the rankings. I think your hookers are still pretty similar to what they had last time. URC champs versus Super Rugby champs to end the year, says Latrell Mitchell. And thank you very much for the update, says Abdul Malik. No worries. And should the Fijian Drua try and play rugby, should they keep it to the traditional smash and destroy with brilliance? It's a tricky one, because you've got to find that dynamic, don't you? You can't fully change the Fijian side to say, right, you guys aren't allowed to offload. You aren't allowed to use that flair that makes your rugby so entertaining to watch. They've still got to have some of that in there. It's just trying to, I guess the best way of describing it is trying to control the madness. You know, Fijian Drua, they could offload through their legs. They could do all this stuff, but you got to make sure that you're still hitting up those breakdowns and you're still playing it well in those kind of tighter situations, but still have that flair. So who doesn't love watching a Fijian fly down the wing, find an offload on the inside, and a prop is the one who ends up running it over. And g'day, fellas from a Cantab in Helmsley, North Yorkshire, England, says Andy Scott. So welcome in, mate. It's great to see you. Here we go on with the World Cup. It's a tricky one. I mentioned it on the last stream. There's probably about 5 teams at the moment in the real running for a chance, and about 4 of them are on the same side of the draw at the quarterfinals. So it's a bit unfortunate that 2 contenders going to be gone straight away. And Crusaders are La Rochelle. Says Moses there. As I go, the draw goes. Says Lisa. Although La Rochelle's a little bit different because La Rochelle were a side that no one really thought were a threat up until about maybe 4 years ago, whereas the Crusaders have been dangerous the whole way through rather than only recently coming into their own. I'm enjoying the commentary. It says Abdul Malik and simply says Moses. And Tonga says Sina there. And can we all watch your TV next task, says Ta'afu. If that did happen, you guys will get to see about maybe 10 seconds of the action, and then we will get taken down off YouTube with a copyright strike. So it would be a good way of not having to listen to me talk for the next 3 months, because that is how long the strike would last. And again, Chiefs are Leinster, says La Rochelle, you'll see. There's Moses there. Yeah, but the Crusaders and La Rochelle, they're a bit different. I assume you're saying because La Rochelle went on and they did well. So I'm assuming you're saying that the Crusaders are La Rochelle in that regard, just not with like the history behind them, I guess you could say. La Rochelle Exeter Chiefs 2017, says Big Light. That's probably a better comparison, I would say. It's up to Foster now to pick the right team. We have the players to win us the cup. Wrong coach, says Spider-Man. Yeah, they were showing him in the crowd a little bit earlier on. The man has 50% winning record at Super Rugby level. So I think at that stage, I gave an inspirational talk and said, even if you suck at what you do, there's a chance you'll get a promotion. So don't give up. That's the best way of wording it. That is a rubbish for the first 2 seasons of Super Rugby. Dominated ever since, says Andy Scott. And French and Ireland, Hots favourites at the moment. Junior Rider warm-up matches be interesting. Is Blues, Nate. But yeah, for this first half, we have seen a lot of tackles being made by the Fijian Drua. The Crusaders, they've still had to make their fair share, but they've been pretty accurate in their tackling stats. They made 52, only missing the 5. 83 tackles made by the Fijian Drua. Well, you could watch this TV if you turned it off and watched a blank screen. That is true. You get to see the reflection of me, which means you could just watch the camera anyway. That's helpful. 14 missed tackles is a little bit concerning, though. I didn't think it was that high. But the meters carried, we've actually seen more meters carried from the Fijian Drua, even though the Crusaders have scored 4 tries compared to the one of the Drua. We've seen 6 offloads from the away side, the Drua in this game as well, 2 from the Crusaders. The penalty count starting to get a little bit up there. We've seen 6 against the Fijian Drua and 4 against the Crusaders. Foster has to implement a proper game plan for the World Cup. The ABs became stale and attack in the last few years. Need some new ideas, says Junior Rider. And speaking of international sides, I feel like this is the perfect opportunity. If I have it, which I believe I still do, we might as well. Where's it gone? One moment. We'll go like this. And we will go. Hang on. I'm going to find it. It's somewhere. Here it is. Ladies and gentlemen, the Fijian training squad, the wider squad that they have gone with for their upcoming tour, where they have got up against the Pacific Islands and whatnot. I couldn't talk there for a second. It is a bit wide. You can only just see my head and my fingers above it, but you can see a lot of Fijian Drua players have made their way into this team. You've got Heriti Hatep for one, who we just saw, Meli Tuni, who replaced him, Ikanaviri, he's been fantastic. Those second rowers, Nasilisila, also Ratanaya Rawa. He is playing overseas at the moment. You've got the big man, Lavani Botia, Meri Deri Alangi, Kami Tha, Albert Tuisui, Affiliato. There are some sensational players who have made their way into the wider squad. And then, of course, in those backs, you've got the likes of Anaya Falevu, Tamani Valu. He played brilliantly in the World 15 versus Barbarians match. Vinaya Habosi, a man who did play for the Fijian Drua and actually started his career at the Fijian Drua as a player that people then knew. Semi Radrara, Joshua Tuisova, the list goes on. So they have got a good squad, a very good squad for those upcoming ones. I believe they're going to try and cut that down a little bit, though, maybe lose about 5 or 6 players off that to get it down to a 38-man squad for the Pacific Nations one when it does come around, where they will be playing the likes of Tonga, Samoa. Who doesn't love a Pacific Island clash in rugby, that is for sure. And then they've also got a couple more games before they get to the World Cup. Tackles 80 made by the Fijian Drua. Meters made. Okay, those meters made are a little bit different. That says that the slight edge goes the way of the Crusaders. Seen more defenders beaten by the Crusaders in this match as well. Some woods on their fire. Keep us warm, Kiwi lads. And go the Drua, you can do it. Says Peter Rabbit. Here as well, yeah. They're currently down by 20 points. They've missed a couple conversions, which does hurt them a bit. The Crusaders at the moment in the set piece, though, they have sat with 100% for the scrums one and 100% for the lineouts one. 9 in total for the both. Can you show me the New Zealand squad, please? I cannot, only because the New Zealand squad hasn't been announced yet. It's ended up being that it will be on the 18th of June that they are announced. Tawera has said, try not to blink too much. I'm watching from the reflection of your eye, says Tawera. Well, you're in luck because I can actually not blink for a very long time. Can you actually see it through my eyeball? Not sure whether or not, but like I can not blink for a while, which is always good. It's weird. Sometimes you go into autopilot and you can literally just stay with your eyes open for like 5 minutes and you forget that you've done it. It's like breathing. Sometimes you just forget to breathe, but then you remember and you're like, oh yeah, because you're like out of breath. Yeah, good. Bulavanaka Drua says Mataputa, and no squad in New Zealand after this tournament, says Linus Tube. Well, it's interesting because I think they actually announced it just before the last week. So that's very risky, I would think, because rather than waiting till after the final, they actually want to announce it just before the final, which then means that if players get injured, then you got to find replacements for them. I have the same two teams from the Northern Hemisphere. I'm leaning towards France. I still think DuPont will be the pioneer, says Junior Ryder. Goodbye, Drua run out of Bullagas, says Steve Stevo. And also we have got, I wish that Pacific Island comp was shown up here, says Fleshin. Well, we will be commentating it, but it's not quite the same as it is being able to watch. I can't tell the reflection in my eyeball. I feel like I see like the light that I have. I can't quite see the game. And Fiji Drua stares at Brandon. Tackles missed 9 so far for the Drua. Need to improve on those stats, but the second half is just around the corner. They're talking about Nunes versus Aldana. Here's a question, ladies and gentlemen, and that hopefully you guys will be able to answer for me. The UFC, they don't have any Fijian fighters, do they? That I can think of. I know that they've got a couple with Samoan heritage, but are there any Fijian UFC fighters, ladies and gentlemen? I'm going to have to Google it, but I can't think of one. I might have to look up Fiji UFC fighter. Got any? Oh, they've got a couple. The MMA fighters from Fiji. Carlos Hicks seems to be the one that pops up the most, nicknamed the Flying Fijian. Okay, MMA fighters from Fiji, all of them have a record of 0 fights, 0 wins, 0 losses. So I don't think they count, I would say. Go the Crusaders says Aparama and Foster wasn't at the Blues game last night. I saw him today watching the Chiefs. Gonna hunch those Blues or hunch most Blues. Not gonna be picked, says Spider Mick. You sure he didn't fly from one stadium to the other? Because Carl Tanana did that. He ended up going from one to the other. And George coming over next live stream. He is not, unfortunately. I sent him a message asking if he was, and he was like, nah, because it's a late night. Crusaders have been overwhelmed by injuries, and they know how to have a pick. I have and pick the momentum towards the championship before Scott picks up the ABs after Fozzie wins the World Cup, says Moses. It sounds like they're all undefeated. True. That's a positive way of looking at it. No fighters in the UFC, says Moses. There's someone called Nathan the Hornet Singh. He actually has his height down. He's the real one that actually has the height. Who's the big man? Oh, Samasoni the Hazard Tawaivuna from Fiji. 194 centimeters tall, the big man. Should have been a lock. Never seen one, says Fleshin. Sounds like they're on the right path to the UFC. What else we got? What else they got who are like big, tall individuals? 191 centimeters for Jonasa Kavika. 5'5" for Franco Latoko Slugger Fraser. They've got some cool nicknames, though. I give them that credit. Lost 2 away and 3 at home. Oh, okay. No, he's not the shortest. There's someone called Avanish Kumar, who's 5'2", which is 157 centimeters tall. There's only 2 that have their weights. Nice. And also, damn, says Nate. I feel like we're going to try and find a Fijian MMA fighter and then cover one of their fights on the channel. Feel like that would be quite fun. Or Silivini Hands of Stone Nawai. Good nickname. Hands of Stone. Wouldn't want to get hit by him. There's that one called the Terminator, the Hornet, Iron Fist, Pride of Osso, Machine Gun, Brown Bomber, the Beast, Thunder, the Razor. Oh, that's relevant for this one. Seeing as Razor's in the coach, speed for the little guy. Says Nate. And also I'm Daniel all the way from Sri Lanka, says Abdul Malik there as well. So yeah, it's hugely appreciated all you guys tuning in from around the world watching these live streams. I'm going to quickly put Avanish Kumar into YouTube. Korea disclosed earnings. He's made $0. Mate, what's the haps? The game is dangling dog balls in comparison to the Chiefs and Reds, says Distracted Sports. Well, we are looking at MMA fighters from Fiji at the moment, Tony. Yeah, it hasn't quite had the same impact as that first game. So hopefully the next one between the Brumbies and the Hurricanes is a little bit closer. Question for you, Hamish. Do you think I should start uploading again on YouTube channel? I would recommend it if you want to upload, that is. That's the thing. You got to make sure that you want to upload rather than just uploading for the sake of uploading. That's the big one. Will the draw win? It's going to be tough for the Mucksha. They are quite a bit behind. But, I mean, we know that they're decent when they get going. Oh, I thought I found Avanish Kumar. But no, didn't find him, unfortunately. Feel like it would be quite hard to find a Fijian fighter. Definitely if it says that he's had 0 fights. And Red sound like they played pretty well. Says Ed Smith. Yeah, they had a solid game, and it was a little bit of a shame the way that the game ended with them being behind by the 9, because it seemed like it was just going to be right down to the wire. How to watch live stream. Stan Sports Australia, free trial. Best way to do it. Waisaki Nahola should have taken up UFC. Says Blues Nate. Well, a lot of these players, it's like getting punched in the head multiple times when they're out there on the park, isn't it? And European refs will help the Southern Hemisphere teams in the World Cup, says Moses. Nozo Tosso Drua Tosso in the chat as well. But Richie Mwangi's had a pretty successful day off the boots, kicking 4 from 4 so far. Want make videos, don't know what. So that will be the first thing, working out what you actually want to upload. And then go from there, I'd say. And anyone from Fiji says the Asia Century. In fact, everyone from Fiji, because I know that we've got a few viewers from Fiji, just type Fiji in the chat. Let's see how many messages of Fiji we can get in a row. You put number 2 next to number 8 for the Druas so they can tie the game. I mean, I can probably change that, but it's just that they need to change it. It's not up to me. It's up to them. The Drua need a big second half. And hello, Brandon and Blues Nate, says Distracted Sports. I'm in New York. Where can I see live? Oh, Flow Rugby, I think's your option. If I'm not wrong. Fiji, says Tony. Fiji, says Abe. Now, Scott Hansen saying that the intensity dropped off a little bit. Fiji from Atunisa. McKinney has said Fiji as well. Now both sides making their way back out onto the field, ready to go. The Satyrs have actually been out on the field for a little while. They've been passing the ball around. Looks like no changes have been made to that starting lineup. Still with the same. Cody Taylor sitting on 2 tries, waiting for his hat trick. It could be possibly just around the corner. We're talking to Scott Hansen. And Glenn Jackson, 8 Straight Sports, says Brandon. And some tell me why all South African referees are controversial, and how do you think they will perform at the World Cup, says Moses. I think the problem with rugby in general now is everyone thinks every ref is controversial. No matter the result, if a team wins, it was the ref's fault, or it was the ref's doing. If team loses, it was the ref. Like, there are very few times I've seen a game where people have just said, we were beaten by a better side. The players say it, not so much their fan bases. But, I mean, it's a tricky one because, of course, referees from different regions of the world are going to have different, I guess, and kind of, what's it called? Not anticipations of the rule, but different, like, views of how the rules are refereed. And Tossa Drua Tossa, or Tossa Fiji Drua, says George. But the second half now back underway. The Crusaders kicking off from left to right. Taken by Frank Lamani. Now kicks this one downfield towards the touchline. Decent clearing boot downfield. Also, Hamish reckons you can put the 2 next to the 8 on the other side. Says Nate. Now, nice rolling maul for the Crusaders. They've been able to make a lot of meters from that rolling maul, and it is still continuing to march forward again. Cody Taylor just sitting at the back, looking relatively comfortable. Great work there from, I think that was Meta Meta. In fact, it might have been the youngster. Get his hands on it? No. It's popped out the back, unfortunately. The Fijian Drua, so now back into the position of Jack Goodhue. Rises up to 30 meters out. Drummond goes across to the left-hand side to Tom Christie. Drummond goes to the left again. If the Drua want any chance of getting a miracle comeback here, they need the next try. Let's go Crusaders, because Drua will try to come back on this game. And I was go Drua, bring the title home, says Sandeba, now passed on the outside for the Crusaders. Nice skip past to Lester. Whaiananuku finds the offload away to Dallas McLeod. May have brushed a Fijian hand as well in the process. Now Drummond goes back across to the left. Goodhue. The Christian Leo Willie. Back to the right for Drummond. Going to Whaiananuku. Thought about the offload. Sides against it in the end. Drummond. Nice pass to Christian Leo Willie. Oh, Drummond hit early in that one. Now Will Jordan driven into the turf, moving slowly towards the Fijian Drua line though. And that will be the penalty to the Fijian Drua for hanging on. Frank Lamani wins it for his side. And you're going to need a lot of that, unfortunately, for them in the second hour. Just looking at the odds, the Fijian Drua are $51 under, or in fact, $61 underdogs now to be able to go on and win this contest, which seems tough, I would say. Nice ball off to Will Jordan. He's been a little bit more quiet in this game than I would have been expecting. Nice work from the Fijian Drua. I think I just heard Che Fiaki has gone off the field, or sorry, come on the field. Stolen by the Crusaders there at line-out time as well, and that is for Dallas McLeod, who has made his way off the field. Now Mitch Drummond puts the kick in behind now. Lamani waiting for the awkward bounce, slowly just rolling further and further towards the touchline, but it's back across now for Eliza Drua Sisi. That will be a tackle in the air from Mitch Drummond, or in fact it was Braden Inor. And Fiji says Davia. And time to make love to my Jim Beam, says Spider Mick. That's going to be now this time actually a penalty again to the Crusaders, and about the same path as they just were. Tackler not releasing. Whaiananuku's disappointed. We're going to get to see a replay. The last 5 penalties have been all against the Crusaders, so their discipline is the thing that could end up hurting them. They will kick this one for the touchline now, though. Love you guys, says Brandon. So the Bears from the snooze go. The Drua, says Nob Mum. Eliza Drua Sisi went across Braden Inor. Put in the big hit early. Just looking for this one where Whaiananuku. No, they didn't show it, unfortunately. And Gaines Winningham, he says the snooze. I hope they do decently. That's a wonky throw. And then the Drua once again give up the position. Now Cody Taylor driving hard. Who's only about maybe 25 meters out from the line. They have got themselves the penalty advantage as well here, the Crusaders. Come on, the Drua, says Big Light. Now run around the side. Christian Leo Willie. No, it was Sione Harvey Talatui. And they'll go back for the penalty. And Hamish wants to know something. Your live streams and fans make my day. Says Brandon, so that is awesome to hear. Of course, we've got plenty of them each and every weekend when we do go live on the channel. Like Brandon says, Fleshin. Also, come on, the Drua, says Big Light. There as well now. Richie Moong going to be kicking this one for the corner here. Just aggressive in the way that they're playing this game, the Crusaders. Not willing to allow the Drua any breathing room. Oh, it looked like a Cody Taylor kind of elbow when he was going through that challenge, but going to be play on. Fiji in the chat. There's still plenty of support for the Fijian Drua, which is absolutely awesome to see. Scott Barrett slaps it back onto the side of Quinton Strange. Now around this side, offload there. Scott Barrett scores the try. I think he might have done his knee in the process, did he? Or is he all right? No, he's been picked up by his teammates, and the Crusaders now strike first in the second half, and it's none other than Scooter does get over the line. 45 minutes down. Still plenty of time remaining on the clock, but the Drua need to be careful here that it doesn't become too one-sided. Barrett, he was actually the initial man who got his fingertip to it to keep it on the side of the Crusaders. And Scott Barrett goes over for the try. I should mention, I haven't actually said it, I don't think at all on this live stream. Anyone who is new, sure to hit that subscribe button. We have got plenty more of the rugby coming up. We are covering the Fijian under 20 side when they do take part in the World Cup. We are going to be covering the Fijian side in the World Cup and also all of the international games for the Fijian side before we get to that World Cup. Also, the rest of the Super Rugby games we are going to be doing on the channel as well. Brumbies versus Crusaders final, says Tangata. And also, we have there Once Hunks Me Guy, and also Bulla says Jason. And World Rugby should do something about the refereeing because the cannon tackles by Northern Hemisphere is pre-poorly. Is that the word? Pre-poorly refed by all European referees. I'm not lying. M1 says Moses. And Hamish want a hug, says Nate. Oh, hugs are always nice, aren't they? Imagine a hug from a hippo. That'd be an interesting scenario. And I think Jordan left to prove himself and go the Crusaders. Now, going to be backwards advantage was over the Crusaders once again on attack. Now Richie Moonga, ball on the outside of Jack Goodhue, goes out to Braden Enor, who has got Che Fiaki, the youngster, with him. Ball over the top on the inside, but Osefo Masi able to take it back now for the Fijian Drua as they find themselves inside of their own 22. Great commentary with the Fijian name, says Bob Log. Thank you very much, mate. Usually appreciated. Now Lamani, probably one of the easier Fijian names out there. Frank. Nice day from Shea Fiaki. Tackled by Tete Tella. Now Richie Moonga getting forced a little bit further back. Drua Bottler, simple as, says the night. Stolen by the Fijian Drua, though, and now they are back in position. Or are they? The ball has bounced out the side, and Quinton Strange able to get down onto that ball and get it back for the home side in Christchurch. Back across now to Tom Christie to the left-hand side. He's got Lester Whainarnuku with him. Never looked like he was going to be passing that one, though. Instead, now Lester picks it up from the breakdown. Has a crack round the side, breaks through one tackle, finds his offload away to Drummond. The Strange now. Sione Havili Talatui cuts up the middle. Tackle well by, I believe it was the replacement, Melituni. Now Richie Moonga, partially charged down kick, sits up with Caleb Muntz, goes across to Eliza Druasisi. Tackled by Strange as well. He's been busy, Quinton Strange. Also throw our Drua Crusaders too. Alamani back across to the left. I do see that there's a player down for the Fijian Drua in back play. Ekanaveri trying to get the turnover, not able to do so. Masi, big shot on him. Counter ruck as well from the Crusaders. Trying to get back up to their feet. I want to say that Tom Christie has to get out of that breakdown, and he does. Now Vilive Mira tackled by Ollie Jaeger, who looked like he really felt that contact for the Crusaders here. With the score the way that it is, they just want to make sure that they don't end up with any more injuries because they've had plenty of them throughout the season. Ekanaveri, though, pass on the outside there, nicely taken, quick hands. Ravatamanda, that was a bit of a late shot on the youngster there, unfortunately, for the Fijian Drua. I believe that was Mutikai Murray who was hit hard, and now it is going to be the advantage, or no advantage. In fact, Will Jordan's just going to run it to the try line for the Crusaders. Are they going to go back and check that shot on Mutikai Murray, or are they just going to say it's a try? I think they're just going to say it's a try. This is good conditioning for them. There's big light there. Now they move up to 40 points on the board. The Crusaders puts the shark fin up for the Tasman Marcos. Will Jordan, most tries for the Crusaders of all time is Caleb Ralph on 52. Will Jordan, he's sitting just one behind Cody Taylor now. Ekanaveri went to him. Yeah, it's pretty late. But I don't think they're going to look at it. Was Will Jordan on side too? They might have to check this one. There's a couple of things that may not make this a try. Yeah, he's in front, so that's offside. That's easy enough. And the slippery cold, too much for the Drua. Time off. They will be going back for the original offside. Anyone want anything from the Lickers? No, be back. Says the snooze. Right, they got a TMO check. I don't think they should have to check this one too long, though. So, Will Jordan in front of Whainarnuku. That's a simple mistake from Will Jordan. The show goes on, says Michael Graham. Good, thank you, Brandon. Hope you're all good. Now going back for the no try. 15's in front. Anyone who's booing that doesn't know rugby rules. Because you can hear the crowd. Some of them aren't happy, but he's offside by about a metre or two. That's about as simple as it gets for the referees to be able to call. He's in front. And yeah, a little bit of a rookie mistake from Will Jordan. Offside all day, says Big Light. And well, I'm going to sleep now because we won almost 1:30 a.m. I was like, this is a one-way ticket for the Crusaders on the way to the semis and offside all day. Says Big Light Will Jordan will be the player to watch out for in the Rugby World Cup, and it'll be all right. They do say better late than never, after all, says Jason. Ruben O'Neill now on the field. That is for Ollie Jaeger. O'Neill getting his first game last week after quite a few injuries. Braden Enoy, he's been taken off the field. That is going to be for Fergus Burke. Ethan Blackadder making his way out onto the park. So the Crusaders now making a lot of changes. Too cold for the Drua. They need to fire, or need a fire to get them going. It looks like maybe that fire could be lit underneath them when Ilya Tharakoivata makes his way onto the park. They definitely dangerous player. A debut here for Murray. Took a big shot, so he is now going off the field. Will Turbo Jordan get in? Says Moses. Do the Crusaders get the home semi? They will, yes. It will be the home semi up against the Blues. And then the winner of Hurricanes versus Brumbies will play at FMG Stadium. That is the penalty won by Leicester Whaiananuku in that breakdown again. Crusaders now back in possession. There is one more game just around the corner, ladies and gentlemen. It will be kicking off in 1 hour and 15 minutes time. We are going to be covering that game on the channel as well. So if you guys are new, be sure to hit that subscribe button. And I see that Brody McAllister now made his way out onto the field. That is going to be for Cody Taylor. Oh, we'll go like this. We'll go. And Blues will take care of him. Says Bolo and come on the side. Sorry, Fiji. Says Yasu. Now, nice rolling maul coming here again for the Crusaders. Sitting on the 25 meters out for the line now with Dallas McLeod. It's going to be Brody McAllister, I should say. Willie Hines now goes off to the right-hand side. They have decided to leave Moong out there on the park for the rest of this contest. He does avoid the injury. Quinton Strange, big run forward for him. Gets his back crushed. And that challenge now, Sione Havili Talatui. Shot coming in on him as well. Willie Hines slings it nicely to Brody McAllister. Still 22 meters out, but the Crusaders have been looking very strong on attack throughout this game. Richie Moonga now short ball to Ethan Blackadder. The workhorse of the side wasn't able to find the offload that he wanted. Quinton Strange just put the ball down 5 meters out from the line. Oh, okay. He's thrown the ball at one of the Fijian Drua players. He is not too happy. He gets pushed back as he should. What's his problem? He get done up too tight. 28 minutes remaining in this one. We're going to have to see a replay of what made him so angry because he full on just threw the ball. It's like the kid at school that you know is going to flip out if you throw a pen at them. That was never really me. I never threw much. At school, I once tried to throw a javelin during the sports day and smacked myself in the back of the head with it. And you might have to wonder, how do you hit yourself in the back of the head with a javelin? When you're going like this, right? The penalty goes the way of the Fijian Drua for the overreaction from Quinton Strange, who threw his toys out of the cot. Now, today Teller going to be able to kick this one towards the touchline. Can you do a shout out from your little bro to Jill and Graham in Christchurch? A shout out to Jill and Graham. That one's gone into touch. So what caused them to get angry? That's what I wonder. Ethan Blackett, a brilliant run from him first off. Then the offload goes up to Tom Christie. He drops the ball. And then, because Frank Lamani half made a tackle on him afterwards, before, or pretty much as the referee blew the whistle, he threw the ball in his face. It's going to be nicely swatted back by the Fijian Drua now. Tete Teller. Oh, big bump off. Richie Moonga sat down on the ground. Lamani goes off to the left-hand side. Another tackle from Moonga. He's right in it, though. He doesn't really care if he gets bumped. He'll just get back up and go again. Now, Lamani once again goes off, this time Valive Mira. Lamani milks the penalty. Does end up getting the penalty advantage in their favour. Now Ikanaveri wasn't able to find that offload. Willie Hines has to jump back over the breakdown. The ball bounces out the side. See, Quinton Strange just ran at one of the Fijian Drua players after the whistle while he had the ball in his hand. So it's no different. Lamani, he milked the penalty. Now, in the last game, he wouldn't have gotten away with it. I believe most of those calls in the last game, Angus Gardner was like, no, we're not doing that. Be careful. He has said, stop throwing it into him on purpose. Yeah, but Richie Moong, he went a bit too high. When you're trying to make a tackle on a lock, you don't go around his shoulders, or else you do end up sitting down on the ground. Can I get a shout out to Mr. Rot Dot? Happy birthday, Casey. I know Hot Dot's an old golf ball. They used to go terribly. Those things felt like you were hitting a rock. It's day out, mate. Always support people that can't see the game. And thanks, mate. Says it was Polo there, but that is going to be a knock on now against the Fijian Drua. How tall is Richie again? He looking small these days. I think he's about 180 centimeters. We'll see the height. It will be on Wikipedia, which we could try and believe. 176, so he's 5'9". He's a little bit shorter than myself. I feel slightly good. Right, the scrum now. Second half has found a little bit more of a slower pace to it. Looks like there is an injury there for Ethan Blackadder. No, not already. Surely not. It looks like the knee might be all right. We've got a donation from Nate as well. And also stopped by Macca's. Kiwi lads buy a feed. Says Blues Nate. Yeah, they'll go into the lunch fund for tomorrow. That has now just started. Thank you very much, Nate. Hugely appreciated. Yeah, Ethan Blackadder just on the field now has got a little bit of a knee problem. I hope that it's just a little niggle and it's nothing too serious, because or else then if he's missing for that World Cup, everyone knows they want to see Ethan Blackadder in the World Cup squad. But if he's too injury prone, like that's going to be a big shame. Hey, says Big Light in there as well. Well, for $15 from Macca's, you can actually get yourself a decent amount of food, can't you? You could get 3 chips. You could get a burger and some chips. You could get hash browns and some chips. Chips. Shout out to the chicken Moody Man or Moddy Man. Says Jesse. And Richie leaving has no benefits to his skill where he's going. Rugby is still played and improved on down here. South Africa needs to come back. Says it's news and all good. Hamish enjoys me, guy. Ethan Blackadder now back off the field. They've made another change, and this time it is going to be, I believe that's Zach Gallagher or Dom Gardner. They look very similar. It's Zach Gallagher. Ethan Blackadder, he had a whole 1 run, made 1 tackle, and now he's gone off the field. Not ideal. Now it's going to be a scrum feed for the Crusaders, who are 25 metres out from their own line. Was being fed in again. Big push there. Sione Havili Talatui has transitioned to number 8 now. Jack Goodhue. Nice carry forward. Does the kick him behind. Lester Whainauku after it. Loose ball. Kalaveti Ravovo makes a little mistake there. Ball bounces out the side for Willie Hines. And now Whainauku looks on the short side. He's going to be driven backwards about 10 metres though. Willie Hines looking off to the left again. Decides against it when he saw a Sefo Masi lining him up and driving him backwards. Now back across to the right, Brody McAllister. I'm feeling a Richie Moonga try just around the corner for some reason. That was almost obstruction for Tamaiti Williams running straight into his teammate. Now, Sione Havili, short ball to Scott Barrett. Goes to Quinton Strange, but it was forward. Now it will be the scrum for the Fijian Drua. I'm on my way over, man. Up the Fijis, much love. Can you shout out and tell the bro, Nick, that you're on your way over? Nick, he's on his way over. Get a chocolate milkshake too, says Jason. You know what you could dip in that chocolate shake? Chips. Now, I'm not one of the people who do that. I haven't tried it. I feel like that's one thing that I'm always like, oh, that's a bit risque, isn't it? A little bit too risky for myself. Mainly because if it's bad, then you've got like a chip just covered in chocolate, which wouldn't be a bad thing. To be fair, I think they'd go together quite well. Might have to try it. Ronnie Sau, the sledgehammer, now out on the park. 11 handling errors from the Crusaders, so they will not be happy with that. 9 penalties conceded against them. Fijian Drua now with the scrum feed. Got a 96% tackle rate, though, the Crusaders, so that is one thing that they will be very happy about. Now, Frank Lamani back into the pocket to Tete Teller. On the outside to Asefa Masi, the no-look pass out wide. Now it's going to be a Ronnie Sau, the sledgehammer, just stays in the field of play. Back across to the right-hand side, Frank Lamani again. Goes off to Ilia Whanakaivata. His first game, or his first little patch in this contest. Big run from Te Awaru Wharikata Vita. We have hardly seen that man throughout the contest. Asefa Masi, though, another good pass out wide. The Ravatamanda, who kicks it in behind, looking for a bit of space, but I believe Will Jordan is back there. Yes, he is. And now he is ready for the counter-attack, trying to find a gap, and he does almost just that, but he's taken down by Asefa Masi. To the left, Richie Mo'unga tries the grubber. The ball bounces straight back up to him, and now he can have another crack. It's like he got a little bit confused there. Gets driven almost into touch. Stays still with the ball. Trying to get out there. Ravatamunda, so doesn't end up giving away that penalty. Frank Lamani doing well to disrupt that breakdown. Now Scott Barrett, the step and couple extra meters as well down to his knees. Willie Hines back across to Fergus Burke. Now Quinton Strange. The left-hand side, flat ball to Jack Gutchu. Offload again to Barrett. Goes to Richie Mo'unga. Sells the dummy ball on the outside to Sione Havili-Talatui, who is wrestled into touch. Fijian Drua, they want to take the ball quickly, so it is play on. Ilya Thorakaivata now breaking forward just like he did for the Flying Fijians in the sevens. Come on, Didas, to show you support with a few dollars for the great work. Then done by Hamish, says Jason. Going to be kicked in behind again. Nice take from Tite Tela. Great game. All in all, guys, Crusaders always put up a great game any day. The Draw, they'd certainly love to score at least one more try throughout this matchup. I feel like that will be a massive one for them. Now Sila hits it up. Lamani going off the right-hand side. Chups some milkshakes to the bomb. Says Nate there. Now, to the left, it's gone over the top. Little bit loose there. Picked up nicely, though. Big effort in the breakdown from, I believe that was Kiriru Sykes-Martin. Or Kershal Sykes-Martin, I think it is. Good steal on the breakdown from Tom Christie. Back on the side of the Crusaders. Now inside ball, Willie Hines goes to Brody McAllister. They just got him well enough. Work from Willie Hines. Ruben O'Neill knocks the ball backwards. So it is still going to be play on. There's been a lot of physicality in the last few breakdowns. Now Fergus Burke across to Will Jordan with the step. Thought about the offload. Instead tries to sling it absolutely miles out wide. And it's kicked downfield by the Fijian Drua. It will be a foot race between Burke and Drua Sesi. Burke cleans it up. Tackled on the ground. Mistake made by the Fijian. And that will be the penalty to the Crusaders. How much? Your headphones? Says Nick. On some. And Jesse Dobson needs a new pair. Says Nick, for these ones, I think they were only like $40. Maybe. And they're pretty decent for the $40. I think they were Sennhauser, however you say that word. I don't know. There's a little logo on them there. Whatever that means. But yeah, I got them on sale. They're normally about $120. Got them for 40, which I was pretty happy about. I'm at the pier watching the game. Says Jesse, and come on, boys, up the milkshake for bong water, says Jesse. And changing halfback for the Drua, says Edward. Yeah, looks like Frank Lamani. Is he going off the field? Oh. Richie Mo'unga. He might be leaving the field here, Richie Mo'unga. That is not what they will be wanting. Are they going to play on? Audio Technica. That'll be it. Audio Technica. That's the word. Right. Richie Mo'unga is still on the field. But it looks like there's another injury there for Zach Gallagher. So that is 2 locks down. And the Drua have thrown the game plan out the window. They're going full Fijian chaos. Got to love it. And no, Richie. So it seems Richie is okay. Oh, but you can see why he was a bit sore. Ravatamunda's just tried to take his ribs and put it on the plate for someone to eat. Never said that analogy before. And leave him on, says Nick. Dom Christie is a good pilferer and rucker. Also, but also a bad ball carrier and support runner. Says Big Light. Right, Ethan Blackadder, you only got about 5 minutes out there on the field. Brody McAllister. That one down the middle. Quinton Strange. To drive this one forward. So Matawalu now on the field for the Crusaders. Sorry, for the Drua. Willie Hines puts the ball high. And that one, Ravatamunda ended up climbing over his own teammate. The thing is, that is legal. You're allowed to climb your teammates in your free time, also during the game. Now, Goodhue gives it off to Will Jordan, who knocks the ball on. Right, they'll go back for the scrum. Ravatamunda, he was going up, going down. Ended up kneeing his teammate in the face. That's why he will never make the All Blacks, in my opinion. It's a big light. Well, that's the thing. It's probably either him or Harmon. One of those two, I think, have a decent chance of going through. But it's a tricky one. 17 minutes remaining in this matchup now. Zach Gallagher, he's going off the field. I think they're going to play with 14 here, the Crusaders. They got any? I, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, they've still got. They want a back replacement. They don't have one. So I think they're all right for now. It's only Dan Staples. I was watching the game, ripping back a good one when he blues, says Jesse. Jordan Wise says Big Light. So, yeah, Scott Barrett, he's going to have to stay out there the whole game. Quinton Strange, the same. Territory still 70% in favour of the Crusaders. 9 penalties have been conceded, and the subs that have come off the bench haven't really had much of an impact throughout this one. It's a weird stat that they just showed. Oh, no, they might be playing with one less man on the field by the looks of it. They are playing with 14 now, the Crusaders. Now, Matawalu goes across there, a little bit of an ankle breaker there for Naito Kane. There's a thing or two about the 7th circuit as well, I believe, or at least he's been overseas doing well. Let's go the Crusaders, says Samson. Now, Tom Christie over the ball again, wins another penalty. Showing that even with their number disadvantage, they can still cause a real impact. And Nate, been a solid season for the boys. Finally got to change, or get to change my profile picture. Think of the ABs for the World Cup. Also discovered a new passion for KC NFL. Yeah, just Tom Christie back up to his feet on the ball instantly. Makes it very hard to stop him from turning that one over. But 16 minutes remaining, ladies and gentlemen. The way that it is sitting at the moment, it means that more than likely, which is almost guaranteed, it's going to be Crusaders versus Blues in one semi-final, and the Chiefs versus the winner of the Brumbies versus Hurricanes game in the other. Finish up status is Jonathan. And as the coach, Scott Robinson, he will want to see 1 or 2 more tries scored by this Crusaders side, just to show that they can finish a match just as well as they can start it. That's going to be another penalty advantage in favour of the Crusaders. Fergus Berg, nice short ball to Jack Goodhue now. He's up to not too far out from a good chance here. Scott Barrett taken down 15 metres out. Ball recycle. Willie Hines now goes off to Richie Moonga, who once again takes some heavy contact. Saders will finish this. Says Big Light. Now it's going to be Sykes Martin. The 10 out. Willie Hines, but get into those breakdowns very quickly and doing real quick passes. Ruben O'Neill, fantastic hands from the big man. Now McAllister just short of the line. I think if they go out the back line, they can score 9 times out of 10 here, but it looks like the forwards are the ones who would prefer to get the glory. Got players to the side. Do they use them? That's brilliant work from the Fijian Drua to wrestle the man down just short. Like I said, all day backline, you've got to try here. Get it out to Richie, and he will go over, but the forwards want to get that job done. They risk getting held up here, though. Also risk getting a penalty against them. Right, they're changing direction now. Going off to Will Jordan. Should be a try. Yes, he reaches out and scores it. He got a big knock on the back of the head, though, by a diving Masangi Donge on the way through. But Will Jordan brings up the 40 points for the Crusaders. Who do you think is winning, says Boy Customer. At a guess, I would say the Crusaders at this point have got I assume you're talking the whole competition, though, of course. But, I mean, if the Crusaders are at home for the final, that is trouble for anyone who's playing them. The fact that the game could be taking place at FMG Stadium, or it could be the Blues versus Chiefs, Blues versus Hurricanes, Blues versus Brumbies, Chiefs versus whoever, it means that it's still a little bit unconfirmed until we know who's playing who in the semis, in terms of who the Blues will, or sorry, who the Chiefs will be playing. Solid season for our boys, ABs, Rugby World Cup 2023, KC boys, the snooze. There's Blues Nate. So now Richie Moonga lining up this kick. Still 14 minutes remaining, and this will be digging into deep water for the Crusaders here. They are not used to playing with 14 men on the field for this long. Will Jordan bursting through, says the night. Yeah, they had all of those forwards right next to the breakdown. All they needed was that pass out wide, and they were going to be successful. That's exactly what ended up happening. 67 minutes through, though. Now Richie Moonga lines up the kick, and it is successful. So that will now make the score 42 points to 8. So it's starting to run away. What's the temperature out there? They are playing in, I think earlier on in the game it was about 13 degrees, but that might have been up north. So I think they're probably playing in about, what are we at the moment? They won't be too much warmer than us. Probably about 5 degrees Celsius, maybe a little bit cooler. So not exactly Fijian weather, you'd have to say, when they've been playing in 30-degree heat. Oh, no one wanted it. Big shot there from Ravatamunda on Willie Hines. Drives him backwards in that challenge. Tom Christie back to the right-hand side. Dropping the head there it was. Brody McAllister. Atawake. Made his way onto the field as well. Richie Moonga getting that kick deep. Drua not looking to use that one quickly. Isn't the final at a neutral venue? It is not. Not for Super Rugby. It is pretty much just whoever's top qualified, that is where the final is. I believe, anyway. I could be wrong in that statement, but I believe it is whoever's got field advantages, the one who's top contender in the regular season. Now, nice pass up for the Fijian Drua. Can they get an offload? That's a brilliant slinging pass from his back there. Drua Sisi not facing the opposition. It's down to a knee. I'd like to see the Drua get into double figures for this contest. I feel like that would be just a little bit of a little mini win, I guess you could say. Our final will be in the Chatham Islands. There's Big Light. Tell you what, should be nicer weather there than it's probably going to be in New Zealand at the time of the final. Do you think it's because we haven't got the shirt out? I know that last time we showed the shirt, they actually scored a try not too far after. Matawalu goes off to the left-hand side here. Game is over, don't come back too late. It's Taofo in there. Now, I am curious. We're going to do something at the next stoppage and play. As you guys know, I'm from Canterbury. So the Crusaders would be considered as my home team per se. But I'm going to put on the Fijian Drua kit and see how many Crusaders fans try and rip into me because the Satyrs have won, even though I'm from Canterbury. You guys will know the joke. They will not. I'm curious. I feel like there's going to be at least a couple who are like, haha, Crusaders won. Ruben O'Neill getting over the ball quite nicely there. Now, Salah dummy from Matawalu. Finds his offload away to Mira, who does knock the ball on. Same with the Crusaders. So they're still going to keep playing, though, even though there was a double knock on. Now, Richie Moonga slings the ball out wide. Che Fiaki, nice big carry. Ends up losing his feet. And shout out to Nick. Says Jesse. The final will be at a Waiheke Island. There's Mr. Billy. Now, Tom Christie goes across to Richie Moonga, running up the middle of the park, looking for his option. Wide cutout pass out to Whaina Nuku. Looks like he stayed down as well, Moonga. Now, Barrett, look for the offload, gives it off to Drua Sisi. I hope the Canes, Chiefs, or Blues win the final, not the Crusaders. Sick of them winning the competition. I hope my Chiefs take it out, though. There's Samson. That is going to be a scrum feed now for the Fijian Drua. Right, we're going to take the jersey off. We're going to get the Drua kit on. Yeah, we're going to see how many people tell me that the team that I have got on my shirt is not winning. Here we go. We're a little bit higher than last time. You can kind of see through me in the stomach region. And know you come on tonight thinking the Drua is going to win, but W stares Teafu. And also, yes, we know Hami Tamurugai, a good game by the Satyrs. Next game for us next week is the Snooze. And yeah, it's going to be an entertaining one. They will be taking on the Blues in that contest. Yeah, Richie Moonga looks like a calf injury here. They don't have any subs, which means that they might be playing with 13 out on the field now. Just stretching it out. I'm hoping it's just cramp for Richie Moonga. Bulls won 2009 final. 61 points to 17. Here's the Chiefs. So sorry, Drua. No history made for you tonight. Right. The question is, are they going to finish with 13 on the field? They've got enough of a lead that they can get away with it. You wouldn't want to risk Richie Moonga. I think it's when he steps here. Maybe. And also, we have got there, Samari's got the laughing face. Is that some toilet paper you're wearing? Says Jesse. You look pretty fit. Hey, you work out? No. I should, but I don't. Not much anyway. Not as much as I should, like once a month, maybe. If I am lucky, that draw polo is fire, says Big Light. Well, you got to thank my mum for that. She got it for me. Mum and dad from Fiji. There is a green strip there that you cannot really see because of the green screen. Right. Richie Moonga, it looks like he is also going to be making his way off the field. I think he just said, no, I'm okay. Fergus Burke's already out there, Canterbury Sevens team. I would beat them from here, says Jason. Well, that's the thing. They've only got 10 minutes left on the clock. You don't want to risk him, definitely with next week's game just around the corner. Fijian Drua, they have also made a change. I believe that's Masaki Donge going off the field for Tawake, although that was already done. I thought they should take the final to Hawaii to test out their liking for rugby in the US. Says Flesh and thoughts on Fiji in the World Cup. I mean, they're in a group that they certainly have potential of being able to make their way out of because they've got Australia, Wales, Georgia, and Portugal. And for me, they could be in the top three of that, if not the top two. So I hope they do well. How much for a green screen, says Nick? Depends on what one you get. I once spent way too much money on a green screen that like rolled up and retracted. And all that it did was work for about 2 months and then stop working. And that one was about 7 times as much as the one behind me. I'm more focused on Samoa, Fiji, and Tonga warm-up games leading into the Rugby World Cup. Says Blues Nate. Oh, stand up we go again. Went there from Brendan Pickerel. Not too happy with the way that it is going down at the moment. But I should mention we've got another game just around the corner, ladies and gentlemen. In 50 minutes' time, we are going to be covering the game taking place between the Hurricanes and the Brumbies, and that will secure the final position in the semi-finals. At this point, we know that it will be the Crusaders versus the Blues in one semi-final. In the other, it's the Chiefs versus the winner of the Brumbies and the Hurricanes. I also say how much for the headphone man. Says Jesse, well, I bought them for 40, but I'm not selling mine because I wouldn't have headphones then. Matawalu goes across now. Going to be kicked in behind by the Fijian Drua. Willie Hines manages to clean it up. Yeah, they are playing with 13 at the moment, the Crusaders. I guess it's good practice as well, just in case their discipline does let them down in one of the future games. So Lester Fainanuku going to be playing halfback here. Goes across to Brody McAllister. Big counteract there from the Fijian Drua. Doesn't work out. Play ends up with his thermal over his head. Hurricanes coming for the Brumbies. There's Samson. Now Willie Hines goes off to the right-hand side. Will Jordan tries to step. Osefo Masi makes the tackle on him. Willie Hines looking to use it left. Crusaders still looking for that one more try. They want to get as close to 50 points as they can for this contest. Available at the back again for Hines. He'll go off to the right. Lester Fainanuku tries a chip. I can see why he doesn't normally. It's not the best one we've ever seen. Medi Alangi kicks it downfield. Looks like we're playing a game of AFL at the moment with all the offloads. A little knock on from the Fijian Drua, but also the first one from the Crusaders. So it will now be the Fijian Drua's scrum feeder. Not wanting the Fijians to do well at the World Cup. True, because if they do well, it means more than likely your team has not fleshed. So yeah, it's a tricky one, isn't it? Unless both of your teams do well and it's Australia that miss out. Just leave them in Nick's letterbox. And those Fijian guys stay up late last night. Drink some kava. Says Teafo. Well, either way, I mean, at the end of this game, there's going to be celebrations for the Flying Fijians because no one expected them to make it through to the quarterfinals. They were another side like Moana Pacifica that people underestimated. Then they had big wins. Like this year, they've ticked off wins up against Moana Pacifica, the Crusaders, the Hurricanes. Oh, heap of big sides. The Reds, they won comfortable against them. The fact that there's a chance that the Fijian Drua may be in the scenario of having beaten big shot, come on. But yeah, they could be in the situation of beating 2 of the top 4 sides in the comp. That's a big shot from Lester Fainanuku right into the midsection. Like that one a lot, he did. Ball carrier holding on. The penalty went the way of the Crusaders as well. Say that he's got a pretty good chance of getting into the AB's jersey for the World Cup, the number 11. Caleb Clark, a little bit of a question mark at the moment for a lot of people. And he would take Lester Fainanuku over him. Also, says AB's losing that game, says the snooze. Going to be kicked in a touch by the Crusaders. Now they are sitting 10 metres out from the line. All subs have been made. They are playing with 13 men on the field and still looking dangerous to get themselves maybe another try. I want to see our Pacific Island nation do well. The Rugby World Cup and respect the drug. They came a long way in the comp. Or respect the Drua, sorry. They came a long way in the comp. They will be more of a force in the future. Exactly right. Like the more that we see this Fijian Drua team improve, the more wins that they're going to get for themselves. The big thing for them at the moment is away games. They do win a lot of their home games, but not the away contests. So that is something that will then help them. Why 13 says Ed Smith, because Zach Gallagher went off the field with an injury when they didn't have any subs, and then also Richie Moonga went off the field with an injury when they didn't have any subs. There's an advantage now in favor of the Crusaders, spinning on his back, only 2 meters out from the line. The Crusaders players just diving all over that breakdown, so they will have to go back now for the penalty, and I think they might consider a quick tap here. I would go onto that short side. 2 passes, bang, bang, you're good. And hit him high, hit him low, hit him with the old elbow. There's Jason in 5 minutes. There's Trevor. Only the 4.5 minutes remaining now. 4 penalties in a row against the Fijian Drua. That has been costing them a little bit in this game. The territory not helping either. No disrespect to the Aussies, but I'm more scared of Fiji than Australia. We know what you get with Australia, says Flesh. And yeah, the Fijians, like, they will probably hurt you. In terms of those big shots coming in on the Welsh players. Take out a Dan Bigger early on or something, and then you're good to go. I can help with the next game, man. Mail me. Would love to join. Says Jesse. At this stage, I think we are doing it solo. I might have a guest. I'm not too sure. Not sure if I have got one lined up. I know that it won't be George anyway, but we'll see whether or not we've got another one. We might have. Now, been told to use it once. Willie Hines. Back across to Jack Goodhue. Around the side, another penalty advantage in favour of the Crusaders. And under 64.5, says Trevor. There's a good chance at this stage, seeing as there's only 50 points scored and only 3 minutes remaining. Now, Tom Christie had a good game so far in terms of getting those turnovers in the breakdown. Does deserve maybe to cross that line. Now, Willie Hines goes up across to Quinton Strange. Tries to spin unsuccessfully. Now, Hines slings it wide to Will Jordan. Off to Fergus Burke. Great hands from him. Moving closer and closer. Will Jordan decides against taking on the ball. We know that Lester Nuku loves a run, but instead leaves it for Sykes Martin. Sione Avili Talatui goes off to Quinton Strange. Put down on his knees and forced backwards. Now Willie Hines sells the dummy, goes himself. Gets over the line. And the veteran scores again for the Crusaders. Aussie dark horse at the World Cup with Eddie Jones, says Bob Log. Although Eddie Jones has said that after the World Cup, he's keen to leave them, isn't he? Too early right now. Be interested to see what's on the Fozzie menu. Is Nate. Great physical play from the Crusaders, just out from the line, putting the Fijian Drua side under more and more pressure until it finally broke. And the Satyrs make their way through to make the score 47 points to 8. Now, I can assume that once this game hits full time, the Crusaders would want to kick this ball out. The last thing they want is to risk an injury here in this matchup. And I think they've just had one. Sione Havili Talatui looks like he is going to retire from this game as well. The team, are they going to be playing with 12? Or is he still going to? I think he's going to continue. Fergus Burke, though, lining up this kick, trying to take as much time as he can, which is fair enough because, pain when you are out there getting whacked around all over the place. 9 source it is, or is in. 13 minutes still scoring, go the Satyrs, says Macca. And also, is Willie Hines back next year? I'm not sure whether or not he has renewed his contract. Got a couple young guys for the Crusaders coming up through the rankings, but having a veteran like that can always be very handy. How much time, says Trevor? We've got 90 seconds remaining in this contest, and the next game is starting at 9:35. It is going to be kicked high now. Crusaders ranking up. I think that's the highest score in a playoff game they've just said. Willie Hines passes back across this time to McAllister. They got a minute remaining on the clock. They may look to kick this one downfield, give the Fijian Drua the last attack of the game. They have played pretty good game so far. The Crusaders haven't really made too many mistakes. There's another player cramping. Will Jordan takes it, but knocks it on in the process. Now close to the touch line. He has gone out, and it will be going back for the original scrum. Will take up a majority of the final minute. So we know now it will be Blues versus Crusaders next week. Fantastic fixture when that takes place, and that will be happening at OrangeTheory Stadium. Then the other side of the draw, it is the Chiefs. They will be taking on the winner of the Hurricanes versus Brumbies game. At least it's been a high-scoring game since Big Light. And also we get another try, says Trevor. I would say no. The stage draw will take a lot from learning from this for next year. See, that's the thing. They weren't even expected to make the quarterfinals, and to get to play in a quarterfinal, I feel like in some regards, some players will look at it as, are we at this level? But for others, that will be the motivation. They'll be like, right, we need to keep training. We need to keep getting better. How much time, brother? Says Trevor. Once again, 90 seconds, but now only like 3 seconds. So a little bit less than the last time you asked a minute ago. Now Matawalu about to feed the ball in for the Fijian Drua. They will still go. Oh, that's coming out the side. Something you don't see too often for a scrum. Also, no apologies, my guy. I'm confident. Oh, that's a knock on. So that will be the end of the game. The Crusaders will be relatively happy with that because a lot of players were cramping up. Tom Christie shakes hands with Brendan Pickerel, and that will be the end of the contest, ladies and gentlemen. The Crusaders, they have made their way through to the semi-final to take on the Blues. The Fijian Drua going to be the end. No tries, says Trevor. Well, no tries other than the earlier ones, of course. Drua getting themselves one though in this game. I feel like that is something that they'll be relatively happy with. Crusaders and Chiefs final will be the favoured option. Says Jason, it's here 9:30, man. Love it. Says Jesse. So yeah, we will see you all later on. It is going to be in 35 minutes time. We are back for the next live stream. That will be the Brumbies taking on the Hurricanes to secure the final spot in the semi-finals. But thank you all very much for tuning in. Massive congratulations to the Crusaders, doing extremely well in this game, managing the match well, getting themselves a lot of points in the process. Also, big congratulations to the Fijian Drua. They made it further than a lot of people were thinking they would in this competition. They've had some fantastic wins throughout this season, whether that's up against this Crusaders side, the Hurricanes, Moana Pacifica, the Reds. They have beaten quite a few sides. Nothing to be ashamed about from the effort that they have put in. But thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you all in 34 minutes time.